Here's how to complete the new Season 4 Reloaded Unstable Rifts Easter egg, breaking down exactly how to unlock it in your game, all of the known locations for it, and the best loadout and equipment to take in to make sure you complete the Unstable Rift on your first attempt. Jumping straight into things, this is a very different quest to the previous season's Easter eggs, where you're not going to be getting items and upgrading them. This is an entirely new secret activity where once you've completed the quest for it, the portal to enter it will spawn somewhere on the map where anyone in the game can see it, and whoever gets to it first and votes to go in will be able to do it. The Unstable Rift itself is an extremely difficult set of 5 waves of seemingly endless zombies with a final HVT boss at the end of each wave. You are given 45 minutes total to complete this Unstable Rift, and completing it will give you a blanket cooldown on all of your schematics. And for your first completion, you will also get a secret camo unlock. The one thing you'll need to bring into the game when attempting this is to bring in 4 out of the 5 alternate ammo mods. This being Brain Rot, Cryo Freeze, Dead Wire, and Napalm Burst. This is a necessity because within the game itself, in order to unlock the Unstable Rift, you are going to need some of these ammo mods in order to open the Unstable Rift. Now, all of this can be done on solo, but I highly recommend you go into this with a group of friends where you are all running the Healing Aura Field upgrade. Now, the Unstable Rift is extremely difficult, but if you run these 2 weapons, you are going to be absolutely fine. So the recommendations here are either the RGL along with the Dead Wire Detonators schematic, or the crossbow where you're going to want to copy the loadout for it that you're seeing on your screen right now. As a secondary weapon, I highly advise you craft a Scorcher. This isn't a necessity, but if you have it, I highly recommend bringing it in because you are going to be competing with the other teams in the lobby to unlock this first, and being able to traverse around the map quickly is going to be extremely beneficial in trying to race against other teams. Now we've got all of that set up, jumping into the game, the first thing you want to do the moment the game starts is around the map, you're going to be looking for an Obelisk altar, which looks like what you're seeing on screen here. Now, in front of the altar, there will be a alternate ammo mod symbol underneath it that you're gonna need to equip with your weapon. In this example here, you can see I have the Cryo Freeze symbol, so that means I need to equip Cryo Freeze on my weapon. Once you have the ammo mod shown on the altar, there'll be a prompt to activate seal, and by holding that, it's then gonna spawn a small circle where you're gonna need to stay within it and kill zombies within that circle using the alternate ammo mod. I found if you do this as a solo player, it will require the least amount of kills, but if you're doing this in a squad, depending on how many players are in your squad, will be a multiplier of how many zombie kills you're going to need. And there is a chance that this is time-based, so you're gonna need to get the acquired amount of zombie kills within a certain amount of time, otherwise you're going to fail it. Another way to fail it is if other members of your squad or random players are stood in the circle and are not helping you get the amount of zombie kills with the alternate ammo type, that can fail it. And if there are any friendly dogs running around taking out zombies, that will also fail it. You'll know if you failed it because the altar will not transform, and when you go up to it at the back, there will be a seal cooldown that will be 30 seconds long. So you'll need to wait for that length of time before you can try it again. But if you are successful by completing the altar, it will spawn a reward rift, and that will be one of 3 altars that you're going to need to find around the map and complete that activity on. Now, these altars seemingly spawn at complete random all across the map, and there is no rhyme or reason to the locations of them in your game. So I'm going to show all the locations that I've personally found, but I will have a link in the description that will take you to a map that will show you all possible locations that will be updated in real time. On top of that, it also seems like these altars appear as the match goes on rather than all being spawned in from the moment the game begins. So you're going to need to keep checking every so often in all of these locations to see if an altar has appeared. But as you can see, the one I've been showing you on screen is in Hedika Farms, and you can find it right here on the map. Another location can be right here in front of the bad signal portal. You can see it right there. Another location can be here in Urzikstan Cargo on the road, but there can also be another potential spawn here, Urzikstan Cargo, which is going to be on this portion of the map, slightly more north from that last location. Over in tier 3, one of the spawns can be right here. It wasn't in our game, but you can see the mud pile that shows it. And in another run, we literally went right past it, as you can see it there. And that's towards the top left of the red zone. Another location is also very near to this location in the tier 3 zone, and it's right on my green ping, but again, in our game, it didn't spawn in, but that can be a location. And this is right opposite the Wonder Fizz. Another spawn in tier 3 can be here near Opal Palace, and it's right at the central bottom portion of the tier 3 zone. And there is another location in tier 3, which is going to be right by the season 3 reloaded Dark Ether Rift, which is on top of the hill north of the red zone. And as you can see above, it's labeled as Nar Bathhouse. Another location can be found right here in the Seaport district, which is to the far left of the map. It didn't spawn in my game, but that is where it can spawn. Another location can be right here in Loadout, which is just to the right side of the map in the tier 2 zone. Again, it didn't spawn in this game, but it can spawn here. Another location is in the markets just to the right of the soccer field within the tier 2 zone in Zaravan City. And another location can be found within the tennis court here in Shaheen Manor, which is right at the bottom right of the map. And the last location I know is going to be here in Hamzar Bazaar, which is just below Hadika Farms right here. Now, all of those are the spawns that I've come across in my game, but I know there are several other locations which I don't have footage for. But if you've not found any spots in this video, then definitely open up the description and you'll be able to see that map. But as you can see, these altars all alternate between ammo types. They never stay the same, and they aren't always going to be in these locations every single game. Breaking down how this step works exactly is whoever's completed a third altar in the game. So one team could have done one, another team could have done one, but when the third altar has been completed by any team, the unstable rift will spawn as a red circle somewhere on the map, and whoever gets to it first gets to claim the teleport to the unstable rift. So there could be a situation where you've done 2 out of the 3 needed altars, and a random team's come across the third altar location and just completed it, and the rift has spawned near them. Or you could jump into a game of Modern Warfare Zombies as you normally would with no intentions of doing this, and another team could have got all 3 altars complete, and you just so happen to be closer to the rift than them. You can go and nab it before they get there. If this happens and your rift is snapped by another team, all you need to do is go and find 3 more altars around the map and complete this mini Easter egg again with the ammo types. Thankfully, when you do any of these, the zombies do drop more of the ammo types that you'll need for the other ones, so that's always a useful thing to watch out for. And in my experience, even being in the circle using my field upgrade, the energy mine was counting kills for this. So if you get in a pinch, it's definitely worth using, because especially on solo in tier 3, these small circles can be very, very deadly. So I definitely recommend that you have perks, Pack-a-Punch before you attempt to do this. But if you've managed to do all 3, you've got the unstable rift and you're going in, here is how it works and the best way to go about completing it. Before going in, I wouldn't worry too much about being fully Pack-a-Punched and having all the perks, because the benefit of the unstable rift is it gives you every single perk. It upgrades every weapon you have on you to the highest rarity and Pack-a-Punch. It also gives you the golden armor plate as well as a self-revive. The only thing it doesn't give you is the ether blade, so I definitely recommend you bring that in. Breaking down how the unstable rift work is it throws relentless amounts of tier 5 zombie waves at you. It is an insane amount of zombies. There's so much going on, and it is genuinely very difficult, but if you bring in the weapons that I recommended, you will have an absolute breeze doing this. Zombies will be dropping ammo constantly, so you'll never run out of ammo because there are no ammo caches, but there's also a ton of equipment that drops, like decoy grenades, Casimirs, so be sure to pay attention at all times because there'll be some goodies lying around on the floor. But the way that this works is that you basically go through all 5 waves one after another, but at the end of each wave, you know about the 5-minute mark in, you will know that you're at the end because the game will spawn in a HVT. This will be marked very clearly so you know where it is, and once you've taken it out, you will complete that wave. For us, it was a mimic HVT, and once we took that out, the wave was completed, and the obelisk will spawn a reward rift, giving you a few kill streaks. There was a chance of maybe a self-revive along the way. Once you've been given a few seconds of breathing room, the next wave will start, where this time it will be again insane amounts of zombies, but you'll now also have mimics as well. What we found to be super useful is that each section of this area has staircases that lead up to areas where if you have these god weapons, you can literally just sit in corners and just spam away, taking out tons and tons of zombies. If you need to, you can drop down, run loops, run back up here, and you should be relatively safe. At the end of wave 2, you get a Mimic HVT, and again, once you've taken it out, the Obelisk will spawn a portal with a reward rift with some more goodies. Going into wave 3, you will again have relentless amounts of zombies, mimics, and now manglers, and the zombies' health is definitely increased. It is noticeable compared to waves 1 and 2. The HVT at the end of this wave is going to be a HVT Disciple, and with the weapons we've brought in, the RGL is not great against it, but the crossbow is incredible. Going into wave 4, you're going to have the same amount of relentless zombies, but now you're also going to have the Disciples as well. And at this point, you will start to feel the health increase of the zombies. When it starts getting this hectic, especially when you're on this side of the map, the staircase seems to get congested a lot with the Disciples in front of all the zombies that can't run up the stairs. So it's a really good choke point to just be constantly spamming. The boss for wave 4 is a HVT Mimic, but this time it is an EMP Mimic. So if you get too close, of course it will EMP you, rendering your weapons useless for a few seconds. So you're going to need to keep your distance. And going into the final wave, this is where things are dialed up to 11. The zombies' health is definitely noticeably more stronger than it's ever been before, and you're going to get a complete amount of all of the special zombies that you had before, but you'll also be getting a ton of the elite special zombies. So you'll be getting named Disciples, named Manglers that will all have more health than the usual versions. So definitely keep your wits about you. And the final HVT boss that spawns is the HVT Disciple boss from the Season 3 Reloaded Dark Ether mission, but this time you need to remember it spawns other HVT elites that you need to take out first before the Disciple boss can be damaged. Each of them will have a marker above their head, so you know you got to take them out and target them first. And once completed, you will be given the camo if it's your first completion, being Mark of the Survivor unlocked, as well as ensured weapon and schematic cooldowns fully reduced. There'll be a prompt for you to use the Unstable Rift portal, and it will count as a successful exfil. And going back, all of your schematics will be fully cooled down. And if this is your first completion, you've unlocked that new camo, which I think looks absolutely amazing. It's animated, it's red, it's giving off a bit of a Vanguard Dark Ether vibe, and you will have successfully completed the Unstable Rift. If you found this guide useful, please let me know by dropping a massive thumbs up. Subscribe for more tutorials. If you want to watch me complete this live for the first time, click the video on your screen right now.